just really, really proud of our football team. I think there's no question that guys came to play. The defense was outstanding. Tulsa is an excellent offensive team. They have really good skill. And to play the way that we did against an offense of that caliber, I couldn't be more proud of those guys. And also proud of the offense. It didn't come easy. But I thought, in the first half we had almost 200 yards of offense. So we were moving the ball, we were controlling the clock, we just weren't scoring points. And the key was going to be to finish drives. And obviously, the kickoff return, and then overcoming that. I think it was a 1st and 25. Overcoming that 1st and 25 in the first drive of the second half, and then being able to punch that thing in. And a year ago we were an awful red zone offense, and again, it's only one game, but we worked hard at it, and I thought we scored in our red zone opportunities. So good win. It's only one, and we'll enjoy this for 24 hours, and then we got a huge game a week from Saturday up at Kent. So again, really proud of our guys. Great effort, and one down. We got to get the next one.
I know you thought you could win, but did you think you could win this convincingly against a really good team?
I mean, I don't want to sell our guys short. I mean, I really hope that we would be the more physical team. And, but you always get nervous about turnovers and those type of things. And, did I think we were going to beat them by 27? No. Did I think we could win? Yeah, absolutely. I believe that we could win this game.
I have to ask about the quarterback decision. You went to Matt Johnson very early.
Mm-hmm.
What was the decision?
Well, we had, forgive me, John and Jack, we had decided earlier in the week that Matt Johnson still practiced well, and we made the decision to start Matt Shills. We told both quarterbacks that if they both continued to practice the way they were practicing, that they would both play. And so before the game, we had made a decision to put Matt Johnson in the third or fourth series, depending on how things were going. And the first drive we made, I think, a first down, and then we were 3 and out. And so we put Matt in, and I thought he gave us a spark. And he made some plays with his feet, and then once he got us moving, we just stuck with him. So we went with what we thought was the hot hand, and I'm sure you'll have more questions about that I'm not going to want to answer right now, but it's the nature of the beast.
I'm going to ask, who will he start next weekend, Matt Johnson?
I mean, right now, again, we'll watch the film, but I would imagine probably, but again, the thing that has kept that thing going is the way they've practiced. So, right now, if I had to guess, probably Matt would start, but I could say Matt will start all year, and you guys won't know what I'm talking about. Matt will start for us at quarterback next week.
From the sidelines, could you see a spark within the team with some of the plays he was making?
I mean, it was just that first little zone read arc that we hit Ronnie Moore on. I mean, it just, we are an offense that really lacked big plays. And part of getting Ronnie Moore out there and doing some of that stuff is if you can't make big plays in the course of your normal offense, you got to find ways to create it. And that was a play that we had not run a year ago, that we put in kind of with Matt Johnson in mind and with Ronnie Moore in mind. And I thought that gave us a spark. And then, I even after the pick, I didn't want to pull him after the pick. I didn't want him to think if he makes one mistake, we're going to pull him. We had talked at some point about putting Matt Shills back in, and it might have been the drive after the pick, except he threw a pick. And again, I didn't want to give him the yank, thinking if he makes one bad play, he's out of there. So he played through it well and made some good decisions. And again, I thought the plays he made with his feet before the end of the first half were some really big plays. And he's a competitor, but we're going to need both. And we got to keep Matt Shills going, because at some point I'm sure we'll need him this year. And he's a good player too.
What's going to be the process to pick a quarterback next week? I mean, is it?
You know what, John? We've done the same thing since spring football, and we've split those guys. Last week in practice, we split the reps, and these things are never pleasant, but it is what it is. So we have two quarterbacks that all through spring and all through camp were pretty much playing at the same level. So we'll just continue to evaluate them, and I have no doubt Matt Shills will have a great week of practice, and again, at some point I'm sure I'll get back in there. So you're going to ask me this every time I'm off the practice field now, and I'm going to give you the same kind of nondescript answer.
No. Special teams tonight, pretty important. Stopped them on the fake punt. Recovered the punt that they fumbled and take one punt back for a touchdown. And then we're not going to jinx anything on tape. We just skip right over him. But just talk about special teams. Well,
again, last year, as much as we improved on defense, our special teams were very average. There were certainly games like Ohio and even the bowl game that they stepped up big. But overall, we had a disappointing year on special teams. And you wonder why that's the case when you have all your defensive players and your number 6 defense in the country, yet you're not productive on special teams. So, we've really challenged those guys this year. And we had overall the best special teams units in the conference 2 years ago. We were 5-7, and we were below average last year. So, we challenge those guys every week to make a difference in the game. And we call them the special teams game changers, and those are the explosive plays, whether it's a kickoff return over the 50 or a punt return of 20 yards or more, or special teams turnovers, and there's a lot of hidden yards. And with our defense, if we can give people a long field, we feel good about it. And until we become a more explosive offense consistently, the short field certainly helps us. So, how many of our touchdown drives were under 20 yards? We had the fumble recovery that we scored from the 8. We stopped the fake punt. If we can make plays like that, it takes a lot of pressure off the offense.
You talk about the red zone. How much does William Houston help?
Boy, he's a load, isn't he? Yeah, I'm glad we have him. So, yeah, and again, people all the time, why don't you have a big, we've tried to recruit a big back for 3 years, and then, we had Le'Veon Bell committed. I think people would have been happy if he was here. And then at the last minute, and those backs are hard to find, so. Yeah, it helps. It helps to have a guy like that in those situations that can push the pile, and he runs with low pad level. He's going to think summer's overrated because he wasn't here, but he did a nice job. He really did. He played with low pad level and took care of the football. And it's nice to have a back, especially when Jordan Hopgood got hurt. Because the competition really was between William and Jordan on who would be the short yardage guy, and then when Hop went down, it became easy.
Going back to special teams, on the fake punt, did you guys have an inkling that there was going to be a fake punt there?
We were concerned about it, and we called, we are predominantly a punt block team, but given the down and distance and the situation of the game, we called a safe that we at least, there's no guarantee you're going to stop the fake, but at least we had guys looking in the backfield. It was not an all-out block, and we weren't coming off the edge. The edge guys had their eyes in the backfield with the up backs. When they motioned, that it was unbalanced, and they motioned, and guys they reacted. We certainly didn't show them that. We had not seen that on film, and we didn't show it to them. So. It was a good reaction by the guys out there, and I'd like to think part of that comes from experience. Maybe part of it's dumb luck, but we made a big stop there. I know our special teams coordinator will tell me it was coach, but
when you came into the game, there was a lot of talk about their rush game. Was there something in particular you guys did? Scheme. What was the key to the defense?
Again, I think we're extremely well coached, but I also think we're physical. And really the only way to defend a run game is to win the battle up front. So I think our kids up front were really stout, and I thought we tackled very well. And the other thing that really helped is our offense controlled the clock. Tulsa's a team that they get in a rhythm and they start wearing you down, And even though we weren't scoring points, again, I think we had the ball 18 or 19 minutes at the half. And the time of possession, I'm not sure what it is, but 38. We had the ball, 38 and a half minutes. So, I think for them to get on track, and we were great on third down.
Also, when you talked a little bit about adjusting, when they picked up the tempo, it looked like it took a little bit to figure it out, but it sure didn't take long.
No, our offense runs that tempo, and there's times in practice that we just practice that tempo. So if we ever get that change up in a game, the kids are used to the signals coming in fast and lining up, and that's just part of football now. Most spread offenses have that as an aspect of their offense. So the TV's getting way more sound bites than they need right now. Yeah, but this isn't going to be broadcast, not this, huh?
This might not be.
No.
We're worried about the newspaper guys now.
Can you make a quick evaluation of the two offensive tackles, both of them in the first game?
I mean, again, you watch the film like every coach will say, but it certainly seems like they held up well. Those kids really, they worked hard. They really did. Those kids, they worked hard this summer. They worked hard in camp. And they had a good week of practice, and they were well prepared. Now the challenge is, for an opener, you get 4 weeks to prepare, and now you got to prepare in 1 week, and that's when I think the challenge for a younger player. Is they had 15 days to get used to their blitz looks and their pressure looks and their, all their line movements, and now you got to get it ready in a week, and that's I think that's the bigger challenge with young players.
I mean, I'm sure you guys thought you'd win, but could you have imagined that you beat up on these guys the way you did?
We knew coming in that it was going to be a battle. We just knew that we was going to put the defense was going to put the team on their back and play hard and execute at a high level. We knew they was coming in with a good offense and coming with that quarterback. He's big and with all the hype about him. But no, we didn't think it was going to be this big, but it was great that it was this big.
You guys defensively played a really, really solid game out there. Walk me through your preparation for it.
There was a lot of film study, practice, coming out of camp. We started early on Tulsa, just getting everything down to the T, where the puller's coming and where he going with the ball every time he affect the mesh or the zone or the draw, whatever it is. It's just a lot of preparation. Film study helped a lot, so stuff like that.
Walk me through the muff punt.
Yeah.
I wonder what you saw.
I was running down, and the gunner, he let me release outside. He was running with me. And, he was right next to me, and I seen the dude coming. He was like floating towards me, and the gunner tried to get into me, and I threw him off me. He fell, and then like the punter was coming towards me, and I screamed at him, and he dropped it. And then I hit him, and I found the ball. And then me and Aaron Foster, we both recovered it, and I took it from under the pile. So.
Boo-Boo, will you talk a little bit about what was the defensive plan for this game? What were you trying to stop for Tulsa?
All the big runs. We knew that it was coming in. They was averaging 250 a game on the ground. We knew that we was gonna have a big game up front with the front seven. We knew that in the back four that we was gonna have to show up and play all the deep shots. They had big receivers that wanted to play the ball in the air. They were real good and stuff like that.
Will you talk a little bit as this game went on? It looked like the defense gained a lot of confidence, but did you guys have confidence coming in?
Yeah, we did. We had to play with confidence. You can't go out there really scared, you know what I'm saying? And once the game going on, we gained more confidence, and we got the feeling ourselves, and it just played into a factor.
Was there a point in time where you guys realized, hey, we can stop these guys?
I think we knew that coming into the game, but we just had to play. I mean, that might have been our thought coming into the game. We just had to play and see how it went.
You guys obviously felt like you could win. I mean, did you expect handling them the way you did?
No, but it was great that we did.
What about the fumble you caused down in there to keep them from getting in the end zone there and recovered down on their sideline? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
What were you looking for? Was he carrying the ball out too far? Or?
He was he had it down. In our program, we call it chin, and secure the ball up top, keep it high and tight. And he had it down, carrying like a loaf of bread. And I hit him, and I hit him around the ball, and I pulled it out and I rolled. I thought he was out of bounds, and then when I looked up, he was running, and I seen that the ball was out and it recovered. And then he was pointing out there. I seen the beanbags go out, and then when you see him recovered it, it was just like, wow, big heads up play.
Yeah, because they would score.
Yeah, they might have scored, yeah. We had a couple stops down in the red zone, big ones, in the field goal. I mean, the kicker he wasn't on tonight. He was missing. That was real help on our part, but.
And special teams plays too tonight from you guys. Can you just talk about the special teams tonight?
Yeah, that fumble recovery by me was big, but shout out to Brian Burbrink for the punt return. Nice play, heads up, and Slaughter Bush kicking the ball perfectly. We protecting. Special teams is the big part of the game, so we got to execute that just like we want to execute defense and offense.
You heard Coach, he was not happy that you lost the shutout. I mean, what was your emotion when you shut out one way?
It would have been good to get a shutout, but I mean, a win's a win. Now we got to, you know what I'm saying, we're going to celebrate this one, and then we get ready for camp.
We had a pretty nice crowd out there. How was it to be in front of that huge crowd and all those students and whatnot?
It's always fun to play in front of a big crowd, especially at home. It's always the atmosphere. We get the crowd into it, get the other team intimidated maybe. Never know, but.
Were you worried that, being a Thursday night, you might not get the same, same amount of people here as you would like a Saturday afternoon?
Nah. I mean, the crowd is a help, but we always talk to bring the juice ourselves. So if we play, we can have 5 people in the stands, and we just got to bring the emotion and the juice to the game for ourselves.
Man, it turns out you kind of knew you were going into the game. Will you talk a little bit about the emotions going into the game?
Yeah, I was a little nervous. They did tell me that I was going to go in at some point in the game, but when it was a little iffy, depending on how the game was going. But I was a little nervous. But after I got the first hit, after I completed my first pass, kind of settled down a little bit. A couple throws got away from me, just a little bit of adrenaline in the game, but as the third and fourth quarter went on, I felt more confident in myself and felt like I had more control.
Once you got into the game, how badly did you not want to have to come out?
Well, yeah, I didn't want to come out at all, whether it was injury or playing bad, but I didn't want to play scared either. If a quarterback plays scared, sometimes he won't make the tough throw, which could end up, costing the team. So I just want to go out there and play my game to the best I could.
When you threw the interception, what was your feeling after that?
It was completely on me. Chris ran a good route, just threw it inside. But immediately coming off the field, Coach Clawson, was clapping, telling me to keep my head up. So I knew I was going to get another shot, back out there. But I just wanted to make amends for it. And for the rest of the game, I felt like I was pretty accurate with the ball. O-line did a good job protecting me. So.
Go ahead. Did you have pictured your season opener against a really good team? Did you have pictured it going any better than what it did?
Not really. 34 points. Defense played great. Defense kept us in the game the first half. Coming in, no, I really couldn't have.
What about William Houston? When you turn around and have the ball in hand?
Oh man, he's a load, isn't he? He's a guarantee. Third and goal is he doesn't even have to look to Coach Hunt. He knows he's going in the red zone. So. It's nice to have a back like that, to get behind a big old line and have a 250-pound running back, on top of that, it's a huge advantage that we have.
We know the line always blocks, but maybe a little bit more down in there too, knowing that he's got the ball, you think?
Yeah, and Chief and Dom were great leaders, tonight for the O-line. Pulling the young guys along, Alex Huddle as well. Telling them each time we got down there just to finish the drive. And Will just, put his head down and, found the end zone.
There was one play in particular that I want you to kind of walk me through, so I want to see it from your perspective. But when you ducked underneath that defensive runner, what was going through your head? That had to be some kind of sixth sense.
Better look out because he's coming for my head. That was pretty much it. I just saw, I think it was the defensive end. He was a big kid. I just saw his arms up here, and I was like, oh, get down. So, It was really just reaction. It's not like a planned move or anything. It's not something I have in my arsenal or whatever. It was just reaction because I really didn't want to get killed.
At what point did you feel the team really kind of had the confidence and momentum behind you?
I think that end of the end of that first half, we kind of started out slow, controlled the tempo, and then we picked it up a little bit. And the fact that we were able to get 3 points before the half ended, and then we got the ball back, was huge. And the defense came into the locker room, just motivating the offense. They're just saying, all we need is a touchdown. All we need is a touchdown. And we came out, guns blazing. Offense did great. Ryan Moore with a big play, and that at that point I was pretty confident.
Was there a moment in particular, Matt, where you felt your confidence rise, like the feeling of I can do this?
Yeah. I'd probably say the pass I had to Sean Joplin on their sideline, and also the pass that I had to him on our sideline. Those were big plays, and they're plays that we run all the time in practice. Coach R does a great job, preparing us for it. But I would say those two passes,
Why is that?
Well, they're not easy throws. It's easy to throw them in practice. If you throw it incomplete, you run the next rep. If you throw a pick, you still run the next rep. But in the game, it's one and done. So, I made the correct read, delivered the ball in time, and Job was able to come down with both those passes. It really gave me a lot of confidence.
This game was on ESPN. What does it feel like to have a big game? I mean, this is probably one of the biggest games that you've had at BG, if not the most. And what does it feel like to have such a big win on the national level and have such a good personal performance on a national showcase?
Well, personally, it feels great. Being from Pennsylvania, not a lot of people get to come to my game, so the fact that they were able to watch it. But more importantly, Tulsa's a very good team, and the fact that we were able to come out and put 34 points on the board, and our starting defense didn't give up any points, I think it's a statement for us. To say that last year we were one game away, and this year we want to go the whole way. We want to go to the MAC championship. We want to win it. But we also know it's going to be a hard road. But to come out on national television and make a statement like that, it's really good for the team. Really good confidence with it.
How bad do you want to start against Kent?
Oh man, I want to start every game. Everybody knows about the competition between me and Shilsey. When they told me I wasn't gonna start, I didn't hang my head or anything. Coach R told me to prepare, like I'm gonna be starting. So, hopefully my performance has helped me, but for next week. But if not, I'm still gonna prepare the same way. I'm still gonna prepare like I'm the starter, and we'll just see what the coaches say.